If you don't have a goal, your activation will confuse your customers. If you don't have a goal, your activation will confuse people. Every successful activation must have a goal and must have a clear objective. How to plan successful activation step by step. Behind every successful activation, there is a solid plan behind it. Most activation fail because people just show up without adequate preparation. On today's topic, I'm going to tell you how you need to prepare for a successful, amazing, wonderful activation. Welcome to this channel. On this channel, we talk about promotion, activation, marketing tips, and experiential marketing in general. I still remain your one and only MC Score. Let's go deep down into today's topic. So, for your activation to be successful, you need to have a plan. Number one, you need to define your goal. What exactly do you want to achieve as a brand with this activation? Number one, do you want to achieve awareness? Do you want people to just know about your product generally? You want people in the Nigerian market to know that you have a product and your product is everywhere, is in the market, and they can get it at any time. That is awareness. Number two, do you want to sell? A lot of companies do activation because they want to sell. They have a new product, they have new SKU, they just want to sell what they have, they want to generate more revenue, they want to sell. Is that your aim? You need to divide. Number three, are you in that market? Are you doing this activation because you just want to collect customer details? Some agencies, some brand do activation just to collect customer details. That's why they will tell you your data capture must be 100% accurate, 100% correct, because they want to follow up themselves after the activation. They want to follow up themselves after your activation, to tell them, to keep up with them, to give them latest information, latest updates about that particular product. Number three, do you want them to know that your product is now on social media? Some agencies does that. Probably they are running an application, just want people to know that the product is now on anywhere they can download, Apple Store, Play Store, and all that. Is that your aim? So number one thing you need to put in place is to define your goal. What exactly do you want to achieve with this activation? Once you figure that out, your activation is about to be successful. That's number one point you need to put in place. So number two things you need to do for your activation to be successful, for you to have a successful activation, about two things you need to put into consideration is your location. Location is very important when it comes to activation, exhibition, anything that has to do with marketing at all. Location is the most important thing, and I will give you some samples now. If you are selling anything that has to do with drinks or snacks, the best place for you to go is schools, where you meet children, campuses where you meet university students, polytechnic students. Campuses, school is the best place for you to go. Number two place you need to go, if you sell anything that has to do with fashion, you need to go to market. Oja market, that's where you go to market. You can also go to malls. Malls now, all this mall, you go there. That's the suitable place for you. That's the right location for you. Number three, if you are selling anything that has to do with church or religious stuff, the best place for you to go is to go to mosque. That's why you see that some companies go to mosque on Friday to talk to people, because that's where their target customers are. They go to mosque on Friday to talk to people and all that. Then on Sunday you go to church to talk to people. You can also go on Friday. Some church filled up on Friday for VG and all that. So if your product has to do with religious and all that, you go to mosque and you go to church on Saturday. Then if you sell corporate stuffs, what you need to do is to go to offices. You go to offices where you can see corporate people. You go to offices where you see a lot of people. You go between the hours of 8 and 5. No, go between the hours of 8 and 4. Within that period, you see them in the office. You can talk to them, and they will listen to you because they're your target audience. So your location, like I said, is number two, is very, very important for your activation. You must know where your target audience are. Then once you figure this out, you now do embark on your activation. So your location is as important as anything. Your location is very important when it comes to activation. For you to have a successful activation, you must think, you must plan very well. You must plan to go to the right location where you meet your target audience or target customers. So number three thing you need to do in planning a successful activation is to prepare your materials. It's very, very important. Prepare your materials. Everything you will need for that activation to be a success, you need to prepare it down before the due date. Number one, let me break it down for you. You need to get, if you're in Lagos, Nigeria, for example, you need to get all the necessary permits from Lagos State. I'll talk more in my subsequent videos. If you are running an activation in Lagos, you want to have a successful activation in Lagos, as you are planning, don't forget to include permits in your plans. We have a lot of permits we collect in Lagos now for you to have a successful activation. You need to collect sanitation permit, you need to collect sound permit, you need to collect signage permit and all that. So your plan is very important, your material is very important. In planning a successful activation, your material is important. I said you need to get all the necessary permits from Lagos State. From there you get all your material, your table, your gazebos, your banner, your sound, your DJ, your MC. We call them compare. Your MC, your compare. You need to get your recommend, the person that will go to check the location for you. If they are suitable, if they are not suitable. You need to get the contact of your on-ground person, the location you are going to use, the contact of the right person to settle, probably your lodger or the social miscreant controlling that particular location. You need to get there. You need to get your crew boss. This boss is very important. It's called logistics. It's very, very important. Sometimes when the activation members are ready, you discover that the boss is not available to pick them, to take them to the location. And you know, if you are in Lagos, Nigeria, for example, now there's a market, you need to go very early in order for you to have good space to display your stand. So your material is very important in your planning for a successful activation. Don't forget to get all these materials ready. All your materials must be ready, and I've mentioned them all your material must be ready. You must prepare everything down for you to have a successful activation. Your successful activation is not complete if your materials are not well taken care of. So you need to get your materials very ready a day or 2 days before the due date, 2 days before the day of your activation. So your material is very important in planning a successful activation. Number 4 thing you need to do as you plan for a successful activation is to assign roles. You need to assign roles to all the team members. Everybody cannot be doing the same thing. That's the mistake we make those days. You are the supervisor, you are the one taking care of the team, you are the one relating with the client service, you are the one relating with brand owners and all that. But now we need to break it down, and I'll give you examples. This is how to break down roles for your team member. Number 1, if you are doing an open market activation and you are doing what we call free sampling, you must have somebody must be in charge of whatever you are giving out to customers. So we call them sampler. That person is in charge of whatever you are giving anybody that comes to your stand that day. That's our role from beginning of the activation to the end of that activation, because if you don't do that way, your sampling will not be coordinated. So assign one person, a smart person out of your team member, to be in charge of your sampling. Anybody that comes, you sample them. Secondly, assign another person to be in charge of your data. Data is very